This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
I would think of all the bowl games that are being played, it would be hard for me to think of many whose mission would rank much higher than this one. So that's an honor to be a part of this bowl, and then obviously for it to be the first bowl game in Liberty University's history is very rewarding. It brings me great joy. I think the older I get, the more I love to see other people having joy. I mean, I enjoy it too, but it gives me a sense of great satisfaction to see these seniors that have really, and the administration and the vision that was cast 4 decades ago or more by Dr. Falwell at that time, and then the plans that have been laid forth for us to move into FBS, and the seniors who went through all of that transition with some of the years are harder than others, and there may be nothing at the end to play for, and then the first year that we have an opportunity to do that, to end it here, is something that can never be taken away from those young men. So it's man, we're thrilled to be here.
You spoke about the seniors a bit already, but kind of how does it feel knowing that they've gone through so much and they're able now to get to this bowl game, and how important have they been for you throughout this season, just in being able to kind of step in and have a lot of that veteran leadership?
Well, anytime you take over a program, most of the programs I've taken over in my career have not been in great shape. That was not the case with this one. This one was just in transition state. It wasn't in bad state. Coach Gill and the staffs that preceded us that have all put a lot of work into getting it to this point. Reality is that a lot of the kids recruited on this team were really recruited as probably FCS players. And so that was the biggest challenge, was just the depth chart not looking like an FBS depth chart. Thus, the role of the seniors is when you take over a new program, much less one that's stepping into the FBS level, whose depth chart may not be exactly right. The buy-in from that group, I think, sets the whole tone for the year, and they were very close to Coach Gill and his staff, so you're never quite sure how that's going to be, but I can honestly say that I don't know of a single senior that was counted on for significant minutes was not totally bought in. I think they were incredible. They're not real vocal leaders, but they're really good at leading by example. I like to have a mixture, a little more vocal leadership. Buckshot is one of the most humble yet confident people I've ever been around, and sometimes those don't go together, but that's really him. I mean, he is truly humble, but man, believes he can compete with anybody on any given day, and I love that about him, and AGG obviously, and that combination's been very beneficial to us. And defensively, Solomon and Elijah and Jesse have kind of taken the leadership role in Bejor there, and so we had to have the buy-in from those seniors in order to get to this point.
Coach, back here, what can you take from your previous bowl experiences that'll help you prepare your team for this Saturday?
I keep records on pretty much everything, and what worked, what didn't work, and been fortunate to win 3 of the 4 bowl games that I've coached in. The one that we did not win, I did not allow our kids, it wasn't intentional, but just through the scheduling, and I just didn't allow them to enjoy the week. And it was our first New Year's Six game, and man, I'm at that point in my career where I'm just like driven, and man, we got to win this New Year's Six game, and what it would lead to, and how it would benefit me as a coach, and all those crazy things that the ambition and drive can make you do if it's not in check. And it didn't work out real well at all. We played awful. And then the following year we go to another New Year's Six game, and kind of went back to what I did the first bowl game we went to, and we're going to celebrate, and we're going to have joy, and we're going to remember. And I think there's a great balance. And I would say to the Cure Bowl committee, it's the best I've ever been a part of here, as far as them understanding really what a college athlete wants out of this week. They have been so generous with the time that they've given these kids, and it's different at a lot of places. And you know, reality is, this society today and our kids, they really have no desire to go sit at a 3-hour dinner. And man, the Cure Bowl gets that. But it's been organized, efficient, and balanced to where we hear the mission of what the Cure Bowl is, but y'all go enjoy yourself. And it's so I just give credit to all the administration that runs the Cure Bowl. I think it's the kind of the best setup that allows the coaches like me that want to have that great balance. And we've had a lot of fun. And we're going to have fun today, and then tonight at 9:45, we enter position meetings, and everything's got to flip and be on the game. But we've had a good balance, and so I've learned from what I've done right and what I've done wrong, and hopefully we play well Saturday, and we'll keep records on how we approach this week and see if there's any changes the next time we get this chance. But I feel pretty good about when I see our kids walking around here and they have a smile on their face and they're talkative and their body language is good. That makes me feel like we're on the right track.
You mentioned on Monday your antenna was up based on how physical your practice was Sunday. You wanted to see where the effort level was, where they were. How was practice Monday, and how have they been these past 2 days in preparation for Saturday?
We had 2 really extremely physical practices, Sunday and Monday. Then we traveled here Tuesday and had an off day in regards to practice because we'd gone 4 straight. And yesterday out at First Academy, I thought we didn't go as physical, but we still, it was a padded practice where we did do inside run and some one-on-ones and other things. So the spirits were great. And then today, we were in our normal Thursday shells and our just spiders, and enjoyed it today. We did it here in the big ballroom. I did that at the Sugar Bowl, so I thought, well, it worked there, so let's do it here and see. So we didn't go to another field today, and it saved on some time too, that they could get a little more rest because of the practice slot. So we got to sleep a little longer, and get to the parks a bit earlier too.
Hey, Coach, what's been the most challenging part about preparing for the Georgia Southern offense in particular? I imagine it's not something you see every day in terms of week-by-week preparation. No,
it's very difficult. And we played Georgia Tech, my second bowl game in the Music City Bowl, and but it was then that you didn't have an early signing period, and I think the game was like December 28th or something like that. But you had 2 full weeks, and man, we just worked on cut blocking and the triple option and assignments, and we ended up playing really well that game and winning it. This one's been different. I've never had to juggle a December early bowl game with an early signing period, with official visits, with home visits, and so we honestly we're only going to get 8 practices, and 2 of those really are without pads, and it's very difficult to prepare for them in this amount of time, and to simulate, the different cut blocks you might get, and you don't want to go practice that too much right now at this point in the season because you want to be healthy going into the game. But so I really have my mind set that the start of the game will probably take some adjusting for our kids, because we really can't simulate the speed at which they do that, because it's not something you practice every week with your kids. We can't simulate the different angles of blocks that you're going to get. And I remember when we played Georgia Tech, man, they went right down the field that first possession. I thought, oh, my gosh, we're going to have to score every time we touch the ball. But our kids kind of settled in and started playing better, and we played better the rest of the game. And it wouldn't shock me if that was the case in this one too, because you just don't see this stuff very much.
Have you ever coached in a soccer stadium, and how unique is that opportunity with this game?
I don't think I have. I don't recall it if I have. And you know, I tell our kids all the time, it doesn't matter to us if it's in a parking lot or a grass field, a turf field, how close the stands are, or it's the field size is going to be the same, and both teams have to play on whatever turf it is, and you know, so I mean, I hear it's going to be exciting, and I know that, you know, Georgia Southern has sold a good allotment of tickets, and I know ours are approaching the 4,000 range too, and so I would assume that it's a smaller seated stadium. We get to see it tomorrow, and hope it's loud. I hope it's exciting. I love atmospheres like that. I love for our kids to play in them, and at the end of the day, our mindset and mentality in playing the game of football is it doesn't matter the size of the stadium, the location of it, the shape of the field. We've got a job to do, and we've got to go do it on every play.
Kind of a two-part question here, Coach. You talk about the beginning of the game being important. How important would it be to come out there and get an early lead against them, make them play from behind, and then also with their ability to score different ways, special teams, defense, how sound do you have to be kind of in the kicking game as well?
Yeah, I mean, everything you said is pretty vital. You know, getting ahead of them is certainly something that you would like to do, but I don't know if it's as vital. You know, they're not a Navy triple option where it's always 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, go for it on fourth down, and it's a conversion. I mean, these guys have explosive plays. I mean, it doesn't take them a long time to score, and so it's the biggest concern is sometimes they can go on drives that eat up clock, and it limits your possessions, and then you feel a little pressure that, oh man, we really need to score every time we get it, and that's not fun for me as a play caller to feel like, man, we've got to score every possession. So, you know, all of those would be great. The kicking game has got to be sound, and you know, we've been pretty good at that most of the year, and hopefully we will be again Saturday.
Coach, we heard some of the players talk about going to ride some rides this afternoon, this evening, and you said earlier this week you probably wouldn't do that. Has anybody changed your mind?
My daughters they're on me, you know, so they've got two of my daughters have their boyfriends here. Dad, we really want you to. I said, all right, each boyfriend gets one ride, and I have to approve it. And anything that kind of rises like this and then kind of does that is out. You know, I don't mind roller coasters. But I'm not one of these. I heard one of our players say, "You will not see my hands in the air and having a blast doing it. I'll hold on, and probably if there was a picture of him, my eyes would be closed." But the mummy's out because I heard it was dark and dropping when you can't see it. So I'm definitely not doing that. But the Hulk I've done many times. I like that one. That's a pretty fun ride.
Last question, Jamie.
Coach Antonio Gandy Golden was up here just a couple minutes ago. He said when he first arrived in college, he wasn't that confident. Now where he is in his career, what characteristics and qualities has he developed to be the player that he's become? And also, how come he and Buckshot have become this lethal combination for you guys?
Yeah. They described it fairly well. You know, I wasn't here when they both arrived, but it sounded like Buckshot's confidence has helped AGG, and I would agree with AGG. He still is not the most confident person on the field. He's not bad, but and you know, it's strange. I've coached a lot of great receivers. I have 9 that are in the league now, and there's just a few of them that are really, really confident. You know, Laquan Treadwell, who's now having a breakout year with the Vikings finally, but it took him some time because I think of that issue. But I think AGG has really come out of his shell this year, and Coach Harris has done a really nice job of the area he was really insecure about was, can I truly go win a one-on-one if I really get pressed and by a good player? And I think Coach Harris has bred some confidence by creating great technique, and when he sees that he does that technique, he has success. And so I think his confidence has grew immensely, large amount this year because of the work that he's put in, and he's seen the success on the field. And look, there are very few people that have played this game that have put up the numbers those two have. I mean, there's not many quarterbacks walking around with 11,000 yards in a career at a college, or the numbers that AGG's put up. So he has every right to be confident. He's going to play at the next level, and he needs to be confident going into those interviews, into those workouts. And, so I think Buckshot's helped him, and I think Coach Harris has really helped him also.